Alright, hey guys, it's TJ and welcome back to another video. So as you can probably tell by the title and thumbnail, I got my learner's permit, which is awesome. But believe me, it wasn't easy. So let me tell you a story. Let me learn you a couple things about how hard it is. It actually isn't that hard if you actually know what you're doing. You can pass the test easy. But I didn't know what I was doing because I didn't read the handbook. You need to read the handbook. Don't worry, this isn't going to be like an educational video. I'm just giving you a couple tips and then I'll tell you about my first experience driving and what it took to get the permit. Because it took a little bit of time. Oh, and I ended up ripping the permit in half too. Yeah, I'll get to that in the story. So you guys might have seen this video I posted a little while ago about me taking the practice test to see if I could get my learner's permit without studying at all. And spoiler alert, I didn't do too well on the test, even though that video was really fun. And so I practiced, I took it a couple more times, and I aced it. Like, on my fourth attempt, I aced it. Like, my fourth attempt ever. On the practice test. Like, if you just Google it and stuff, there's practice tests online, and I aced them. I was like, okay, I got this. Why don't I just go take the test tomorrow? And my mom had to go to the DMV to renew her license anyway, so I was like, hey mom, can I get my learner's permit? Like I know the stuff, I just aced the test, it's easy. So then she's like, yeah, sure. So the next day after school, we drive down to the DMV, and by we, I mean she, because at the time I couldn't drive, and we get there, alright? We get there, wait in line, we tell them what we need to do, and it was really not that busy, because it was like the middle of the work day, but it wasn't like early in the morning, so it was a good time to go. And I've heard like the waits there are crazy. Like the DMV is known for having these really long... My bad. The DMV is known for having these really long waits and stuff, but like it took 5 minutes. I literally got it, and then before I could even sit down, they were like, now serving blah blah blah. So then I went up there and answered a couple questions, filled out a form, told them what I wanted to be doing. And then she's like, all right, time for the eye test. And if you don't know, I need glasses. What am I not wearing? Glasses. You want to know why? Because me being the genius that I am, forgot my glasses. I was going to cross-country practice, got ready all my cross-country stuff, went home, and it turned out that I left my cross-country stuff in the locker. And you might be saying, well, just go the next morning, like, it's not that big of a deal. It was a big deal because there was a football game that night, which means there was a team in the locker room, which means there was a ton of ginormous dudes, like dozens of ginormous dudes that are rowdy, messing around in the locker room with my delicate glasses. Long story short, they're lost, alright? So I need to take the eye exam. So then I put my face in the eye test. I start taking it. She's like, just read line 1 for me. And I read it. Like, I just read it really fast. I was guessing on a couple of them, not gonna lie, because I'm not that blind. Like, it's not like I can't see without my glasses, obviously. But yeah, they were pretty dang blurry. I couldn't read them too well, and I guessed. But then she was like, all right, good job. And I kept my face in there. I was like sitting there, and she was like, nope, that's it, just line 1. And I was like, oh, like I was guessing. She was like, all right, just read line 1. That's it. Like, that's all you gotta do, and then you pass a vision test. And I may or may not have lied on the thing. It said like, do you need glasses? And I was like, no, nah. I just wanted my permit, man. And then she hands me a slip of paper, says go over, talk to the testing dude, type in that number, and you're good to take your test. And I was like, alright, I feel confident. I aced the practice test. It was easy, like I know all the answers. It's not that bad. So then I finished with that. She's filling out some stuff, and she's like, you ready for this? I was like, yeah, I hope so. Like, I think I'm ready. I think I know the stuff. I took some practice tests online and aced them, so, and she was like, just like stared for a second. She was writing and just stopped and looked up. And you could tell in her head, she was like, oh my god, another one of these kids, the ones who think that they can get away with not reading the driver manual. Like, she works at the DMV, which is boring enough, but she looked up and just hated her life for a solid second. Like, I would hate it anyway if I worked at the DMV, but she just, like, looked up and was like she got triggered or something, dude. I don't know what happened. She was having flashbacks. I don't know. And then that's when it set in. I was like, oh my god, I'm screwed. Like, I don't know. Like, if they're nothing like the actual test, then I don't know anything. I didn't read the driver's manual, and I was like, oh, well, I'm just gonna hope I do well. And she was like, yeah. And she handed me a paper, grabbed it, headed over to the testing dude, typed in a number, started taking the test, and I was fairly confident. You know, there were a couple that I didn't really know that well. I was kind of confused on some of them. You know, I was just kind of chilling. I felt fairly confident, but not like super confident. Kind of one of those tests where you're like, I think I'll do well, but I'm definitely not gonna ace it. And I finish it, and I'm like, all right, it's the moment of truth. So I press submit, and I'm very confident at this point. At this point, I'm like, I'll pass it, because you don't need 100% to pass. Spoiler alert, I didn't pass it. And guess what? No, I didn't bomb it. Believe it or not, no, I didn't get like 0%. No, I wasn't like 10 points off. No, I wasn't 5 points off. I was 2 points off. But then it was like, would you like to retake the test? And I was like, perfect, awesome. So I reviewed all the ones I got wrong, and I was like, okay, I got this. Now I know the practice test and what I got wrong in this test, so it should be easy. So then I go through and retake it again. And the questions are all different, completely different. Like, none of the same questions. So all the questions that I know that I got wrong before, tell me, like, they're not there anymore. So I finished my second attempt, and you can do a maximum of 2 attempts a day. You can do a maximum of 2 attempts per day. So I finished my second attempt. I'm feeling way more confident this one. I was like, okay, this one, like, I know most of the stuff. I click submit. I failed it again. Again, guys, again. And no, I didn't fail it by 2 points. I didn't fail it by 5. I didn't fail it by 10. I failed it by 1 point. I was 1 point off. It has 50 questions. You need 40 to pass. I got 39. So then I get up. But the permit test is so dumb. Like it annoyed me so bad. It was the ones that say, like, how many feet away do you have to park? How early do you have to stop before hitting a stop sign? And it's like, I don't know. Like, use common sense. Like, enough where you can see around the corner, but not where you're in the middle of the intersection, so you just get creamed. Like, it's not that hard. Like, you don't need to, like, know. Like, my dad, who's been driving for many, many years, doesn't remember how early he has to stop. Like, how far away from the stop sign he has to be. It annoyed me a lot, because I was like, no one's gonna remember that I need to give a fire engine 50 feet of space when they have their sirens on. Like, I'm just gonna stay out of their way, let them do them, and use common sense. It's not that hard. So those were the questions that got me. I went up to him, I was like, I'm supposed to talk to you, right? Like, about the test, and he thought I had passed it. He was like, trying to mess with me. He was like, so what do you want to talk about? Like, you know, I can talk to you about anything, life, girls. And I was like, I think I'm supposed to talk about the test. And he was like, oh, so what about the test? And so he was trying to make it so that I'd be like, I passed this, so can I get my permit? No, that's not what it was. I had to go up there and tell him I failed. And he was like reading, he was like, so you got 2 options. You can take it again today, or you can try it another time. And I was like, wait, I can try it again? And then he was like, yeah. So then he, like, types in his computer and he's like, oh, you already used your second attempt for today. My bad. Sorry, dude. And I was like, man, that wasn't what he sounded like at all. He was actually a middle-aged, very large nerd, but that's how I'm going to portray him, all right? So then I go up to my mom and she's like looking at me, and I walk up and I was like, and I had a paper in my hand that the guy gave me. Like, he gave me a paper, and I had it in my hand, and she thought I was messing with her. Like, everyone thought I was going to pass. Even the DMV guy thought I was going to pass. I didn't pass. So then I was telling her I failed, and I was like, by 1 point. And she was like, 1 point. And she kept looking down at that paper and, like, looking at me, like, as if I was messing with her, because I would do that. If I passed it, I would have been like, nah, I didn't pass it, sorry. But I didn't actually pass it. And then she was like, then what's that? And I was like, oh, and I handed it to her, and she was like looking at me like, is this the permit? I was like, no, like, it's just a paper that he gave me that we need to do next time we test. And all this happened yesterday. So then I was like, okay, I'll take it again tomorrow. I need to read the driver's manual. I got this. I get home, procrastinate the crap out of everything. Don't actually read the driver's manual. Like, don't read it at all. That was this morning. Like, that was last night and this morning. Like, I should have studied. I didn't. But you already know I got my driver's permit. But anyway, let's back to the story. So I procrastinated. Don't read it at all. Wake up early this morning. Like, wake up way earlier than I have to. I could have slept in, but no. I needed to get my permit today. I told all my friends I was going to get my permit. And so I was like, I went into this expecting not to pass. I was like, I'm probably not going to pass. And if I don't, then I'll read the driver's manual. But, you know, my dad already agreed to drive me, so I might as well. So I go there. It's really easy. I just go there. Don't even have to take the test. Like, I just went up to the same testing guy and was like, hey, can I take it again? And he was like, yeah. I wrote down the number, typed it in, took the test. I was feeling fairly confident. Like, again, like, my confidence had kind of been destroyed because I didn't pass it the other times. It wasn't like, oh, I know I'm going to fail or I know I'm going to pass. It was like, might as well try, see how I do. And your boy got it right. Let's go. Like, I got it right, dude. I was super excited about that. Like, I got my permit. I can drive now, like, on the streets, legally. Not like in a parking lot with your dad, no. Like, drive legally, guys. That's a big deal. So I went up to my dad, and he, like, looked at me, and I was like, because I told him how I was like, I don't think I'm going to pass. So then I was like, ah. So then he's like, really? And I was like, yeah. So I went up to the person, they printed out and everything. They're like, congratulations, and just gave it to me. And I was like, cool, thanks. Take it. And then I was like, yeah, let's go. All excited. And then we get outside. My dad was like, hey, show it to me. And like at this point, I had it for 30 seconds. And my dad was like, hey, let me see it. And I was like, okay. And I was holding it like down like this on top of my papers. And I go to pick it up like this, and my thumb is stuck on it. So I go whoosh and rip my permit in half. I had it for less than a minute, and I just ripped it in half. Like, I just broke it. I just broke my permit, just whoosh, and I ripped it, and I was like, I laughed. I was laughing. Like, on the outside, I was like, I just ripped my permit after having it for 30 seconds. How funny, hilarious. But on the inside, I was just like I'm so, how, why? Anyway, we taped it back together. I go through school. It's whatever. I get home, I start editing. My dad gets home, he's like, wanna go for a drive? And I was like, boom, save my project, go out there. We start driving. Let me tell you guys, I'm not the best driver. Luckily, nothing bad happened, alright? I just like scraped the bottom of my dad's car repeatedly on the asphalt, like just. And I hugged the right side of the road, almost hit a Corvette. Also, didn't drive the speed limit. I didn't go over, I was going really slow, and the people behind me were like, what's going on? Like, why is he doing it? Like, you could tell they were getting annoyed, and just, I was nervous, I was driving, and I wasn't doing too good, and I was, like, forgetting my blinker, like, I didn't kill anyone, I didn't damage anything, but drivers hate me, guys, like, drivers hate me. But we got our permit test. Hopefully we do better. Hopefully, like, after practice, I'm gonna, like, end up doing good. You never know, though. Like, so I guess we'll see. Yeah, I did alright. Like, I didn't speed and, like, turning, all that stuff, I got that down, that's easy. Where I had trouble, wow. I was just forgetting the little details, like the blinker and stuff like that, and I was like hugging the right side. My dad would be like, my dad was so stressed. I was like, to the left, to the left, to the left. Ah! And I'd be like, Dad, like I just like I would go a little bit to the right, like literally that much, like, and then he'd be like, turn to the left, go, go, go. And I'd be like, all right, back off. But anyway, we did all right. We're good. I scratched up the car a little bit. We're okay. Like, not the side, the bottom, like on those bumps, just, that's all. That's all. So it's not that bad. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Let me know if you want me to tell like more stories and stuff like that in this format. Like, I used to do them with gameplay behind them, but I like them like face-to-face talking so I can use my hands and like explain stuff and stuff like that. So let me know if you want me to do more story videos like this. Let me know if you're scared to be on the road now that I'm on the road with you. The world is less safe, guys. The world is not a safe place. Not anymore, it's not. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have an awesome day. fund me.